This episode of Texzilla is sponsored by Domain.com. Classic moments. You capture them on film. Wait a minute, who uses film? You've got a digital camera, and I bet if you're really lucky, you got a digital camera under the tree. You excited? Here with the lowdown on things new camera owners should be considering with their new toy, Mr. Roger Chang, our resident photo geek. Let me point something out. Roger, he's been using the same cell phone for 4, maybe 6 years. Four. He buys a new camera every 12 months, every 6 months,
15
maybe?
months.
Okay, I think it's a little closer together than that. You are the resident expert on what to do with a new digital camera.
So you have a new digital camera. First thing you want to do, read the manual, go through it backwards and forwards, and figure out what all the buttons and dials on your cameras do, because you won't learn if you don't play with it.
Especially if you've got your first complicated camera and you want to learn stuff, it can get really nutty inside the menus.
Yes.
And Nikon's different from Olympus, it's different from Canon, it's different from everybody else. And why don't I turn that towards the camera so everybody can enjoy all the stuff back there?
It's great, and again, play with it for the whole day. That way you figure out what everything does. Now, for people moving up from a point and shoot or even a camera phone, photography probably isn't the biggest thing on your mind, and you want to kind of up your game a little bit. There's a great site, digitalphotographyschool.com, that actually incorporates a lot of great information. They do photography tips and tutorials. They also cover camera and equipment as well as post-production. And they do it in a way that, for most people, they can find accessible and understand, because oftentimes when photographers talk about, they might get a little too artistic about it.
Blah, 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 aperture, blah, 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 f-stop, da, 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 da,
and this kind of puts it in plain English. Great site to visit.
Good stuff.
Now, if you have a model-specific, everyone has a model-specific camera. I'm using this site, Photography on the Net. Now, this is for Canon owners. For anyone who owns a PowerShot EOS camera, if you have questions about your camera specifically, as well as other equipment like flashes, lenses, and just plain photography questions, it's a great site. I recommend, if you own any brand of camera, to find a user group either locally or online so you can get more information about your equipment, because an informed user is a better user.
Software, what do you like?
Software, so you need a good image viewer, and oftentimes the ones that come with OS X and Windows don't cut it. Great one for PC, IrfanView. It does pretty much everything you need a viewer to do, and also allows you to do basic editing, including red-eyed removal and batch resizing. If you have like 20 photos you need to make wallet size, you can do that.
It's an awesome tool if you suddenly find yourself with 4,000 photos you want to sort through.
Exactly. Now, if you want to do some more editing, don't really want to pay for anything that might cost around $100, or you don't want to use Microsoft Paint, try out Lightbox 2 free. It's from SageLightEditor.com. Great tool. Literally nothing but sliders, so you don't need to figure out how a brush tool works or all these little kind of widgets that you see on screen. Very user-friendly. It's also very basic, so don't expect too much, but you can do cropping, you can do highlights, you can do black, you can adjust color levels and all that stuff.
So, we got you learning about your camera, we got you up in your photography game, we got free software for you. What about accessories?
Accessories, you definitely want to pick up a new strap if you can afford one. Cheap ones around $5, $6. If you want to spend a little more, I recommend the Leash. The guys have the Peak Design have their own website, but they're running a Kickstarter, $25, $30. Great tool. You can use it as a normal camera strap, as well as a camera sling, which is something that a lot of camera enthusiasts prefer.
These are obviously people who have spent time working with rifle slings, because
it's a great way to shoot if you want to shoot on the move. Say you're at a convention or you're at an outdoor party and you just want to get people, it's great. Another thing you want to consider getting is a tripod. Now, if you don't have a good tripod, you won't be able to get a lot of the shots that most people get, usually either time-lapse or something that involving long exposure. Or, in my case, you want to get a bunch of people, including yourself, in a group photo. You can't do it without a tripod. You can find them around $20, $30. Stay away from the cheap ones because they tend to tip over and they are never level. Great product to look at is the Joby. It's a little mini tripod. They come in different sizes for DSLRs as well as camcorders, and smaller cameras is the one I have here. Various prices, but they work really well, and because they're so flexible, you can wrap them around trees, poles, or anything else to get kind of that shot that you can't normally get.
Pretty like the one you got on the beach.
Yes, I actually had a great shot from Hawaii that I managed to do in a 2-second exposure set on the Joby Pod. Some other stuff you want to consider is microfiber cloths. to clean all your equipment, a bulb,
Right.
A photographer's bulb to kind of clean off the lenses, because you don't want to blow on it because you're going to get spit on it.
Yeah, I'm all about the lens pens now.
Lens pens is another great product. They essentially are a pen with charcoal on one end and a brush on the other. You kind of charcoal it on one side, and then you can kind of clean off fingerprints, smudges off lenses. Works really, really well. Super handy. You can find it in most photography stores, or you can buy it online and on Amazon.
Memory cards.
Memory cards, buy as much as you can. You can never have enough. Actually, you can't actually have too many. About like 2 or 3, just have on hand, and get a good holder.